Matt here. Today I'm going to be giving you a tour of the Fort Pickens National Park Campground. We're Matt and Dave, and together with our dogs Belle and Hudson, we're exploring the world in our Escape travel trailer. In the winter of 2023, we traveled from Ontario to Texas to pick up a 17-foot casita trailer and spent over a month on the road. We liked it so much that by the fall of 2023, we upgraded to a 19-foot Escape trailer so that I had space to work from the road. We haven't looked back since. Come see where we go next. So we've just finished spending 5 nights at this campground, and it was our first time at a national park. And I have to say, we were very impressed. The campground itself has quite a few lots. We stayed in Loop E. Loop B, C, D, and E are all grouped together. However, Loop A is in a different section. We did check out both or all of the loops, and I have to say there doesn't really seem to be much of a difference between the loops. So don't worry about which loop you're getting. If you can find a spot, that's great. So there is no office to check in at when you get into this park. You're actually told to drive directly to your site. There is a little sign connected to your site post with your name and the day that you're leaving. And you're allowed to just drive right in. They do say, though, that they don't want anyone arriving before 2 p.m. and checkout time is 11, so they want to make sure that they have enough time to do a bit of a cleanup of the sites and housekeeping during the day. And you're seeing some of that cleanup happening right now. Kind of nice that the park has such good upkeep. So in terms of reservations for this campground, so we booked this one through recreation.gov as well. And this, as well as any other national park, can be notoriously difficult to get into. All we did for this one is we just kept checking back over and over and over again until we saw an opening. There's always cancellations, so don't get discouraged at first if you don't see any availability. Just be diligent, keep checking back in, and eventually you'll find some space. We did talk to a few people here who couldn't find the same lot for consecutive nights, so they did end up moving their trailer so that they had the opportunity to stay here for multiple nights. The campground itself has paved paths, and it does have water and power. But there is no sewer. There's a dump station at the entry point, so that's the only thing to keep in mind if you are staying here for a longer period of time. You may want to bring a Blue Buy with you. In terms of things to do at this campground for kids or families, there isn't a park at this campground per se, but there are a lot of hiking trails. And really the main reason why you'd be coming to this campground is for the beautiful white sand beaches. I'll show you some shots of that. And I have to say, we've never seen beaches as beautiful as this. And these beaches can be found on both sides of the campground. So in terms of things to do at this campground, lots of energetic dogs this morning in the area. So in terms of things to do at this campground, the main reason you're going to come here are for the beaches. A lot of people come here to do some fishing at the beaches. We saw that a lot. We didn't have a chance to do any fishing, but we did go to the fishing pier and chatted with a few folks there. They hadn't had any luck on the day that we were there, but it does seem to be a very popular spot for that. Also, just the beaches themselves are beautiful. White sand beaches, all within walking distance of the campground, only 1 or 2 minutes away. And there's also a number of great hiking trails in the area. So I think we hiked just about all of the trails. Probably spent the most of our time, though, hiking down the beach, actually. And that was nice. We saw lots of cool jellyfish. We saw some ghost crabs and lots of different types of birds as well. So it was really neat for that. So if you like nature, if you like seeing wildlife, definitely a place that you'd want to check out. There is no cable TV available at this campground, which is not surprising considering it's a national park. Cell phone signal is very spotty. So we found a lot of people going to the beach during the day to try to get a good cell phone signal. While I was here, I had virtually no cell phone signal. I had a really hard time looking up anything on the internet. But Dave's cell phone signal was decent. So we're not sure why that was, because we're both with the same provider, but we found a lot of people we talked to said the same thing. So don't come here relying on a good cell phone signal. Probably good enough to make calls, just not good enough to browse the internet or stream anything. So in terms of what's available in the area, well, you are a little bit off the beaten path here, being in a national park. It's about a 20-minute drive to the nearest town, which is Pensacola Beach. I would definitely call Pensacola Beach a tourist town. There's lots of hotels there, looks like a lot of resorts, a lot of bars, a lot of restaurants. So if you're into that sort of thing, you've come to the right place. Like I said, just a little bit of a trek to get back to the campground afterwards. Other things that you might want to consider in the area that are a little bit farther. Navar Beach is another beautiful place. And Navar Beach actually has the 15th longest pier in the United States. So we checked that out. And we were lucky enough that the day that we were here, there were some surfers practicing there. So we spent some time checking that out. That was really neat, our first time seeing surfers live. We also drove as far as Destin, which is a little over an hour from Fort Pickens National Park. And again, a neat little tourist town. To be honest, we didn't stay there very long. Parking seemed really difficult to find and fairly expensive, so we did a little drive around. I think the reason that you're gonna come to this park, and probably the same reason you'd come to any national park, is because you like the outdoors, you like wildlife, you like nice scenery, and this park did not disappoint in that sense. Sunsets and sunrises at the beach, highly recommended. Check it out. I'll show you some footage here. Trust me, it's worth going. Don't just stick to the beach during the day. Make sure you go in the evening as well. One other thing that I should mention is the actual fort itself. So you got the Fort Pickens Campgrounds. The fort is just down the road from here. It's walking distance. So that's another thing that's worth checking out. It's free with your park pass. So you can go walk around the fort. There's also a self-guided tour that you can do. So that was pretty neat as well. I think this probably goes without saying, but based on our experience here, we would definitely recommend checking out this park. Again, your biggest challenge is just going to be finding some available sites, but if you can find some, check it out, stay a few nights, spend some time on the beaches, look at the sunsets. You'll love it.
If you enjoyed this video, please consider hitting that like button. Or even better, subscribe to our channel. It really does help us reach a wider audience. And don't forget to come back tomorrow to see where we go next.